This is Mindfulness with Richard Clarke. I focus on mindfulness meditation. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Welcome. Today I'll talk about mindfulness and stress reduction. Mindfulness meditation is not just a buzzword, it's a transformative practice that can profoundly impact your life, especially when it comes to managing stress. Let's look into the benefits and how it can bring stress reduction. At its essence, mindfulness involves developing a heightened awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. By immersing yourself in the present moment, you develop the tools to handle stressors as they arise. Mindfulness meditation is the practice of being fully present and attentive to your experiences without judgment. Unlike striving for a state of emptiness or bliss, mindfulness encourages you to just observe your internal world with openness and curiosity, cultivating a state of non-reactive observation. Now, let's talk about stress. Life is full of it. Mindfulness serves as a potential antidote to stress by empowering you to observe stressors without becoming entangled in them. Through mindfulness, you develop the ability to witness the fluctuations of your thoughts and emotions with a sense of calm detachment. One of the significant benefits of mindfulness is the capacity to create a mental space in your life. Instead of being overwhelmed by worries or anxieties, you learn to ground yourself in the present moment, experiencing a profound sense of liberation from the stress. A significant contributor to stress is expectations. We all have them related to our activities, relationships, or personal goals. While expectations can motivate us, they can also become sources of stress and anxiety when unmet. The greater the gap between your expectations and what actually happens, the greater the stress. When expectations aren't fulfilled, feelings of disappointment or frustration may arise, creating stress in our lives. Moreover, expectations often fuel our tendency to ruminate and worry about the future, leading to chronic worry and anxiety. Mindfulness serves as a powerful antidote to the stress of expectations. By cultivating non-judgmental awareness of the present moment, you can observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming ensnared in them. You can watch them like you watch clouds pass by. Through mindfulness practice, you develop a greater capacity to navigate life's up and down with equanimity. Instead of being swept away by expectations and worries, you learn to anchor yourself in the present moment, accepting things as they are without judgment. Mindfulness teaches you to approach each moment with openness and curiosity, embracing the full spectrum of human experience. By holding expectations lightly and recognizing life's inherent unpredictability, you become better equipped to respond to the challenges with resilience and flexibility. Furthermore, mindfulness enables you to cultivate gratitude for the present moment, finding joy in life's simple pleasures. In stressful situations, mindfulness empowers you to respond with calm and resilience, transitioning from struggle to acceptance. Moreover, mindfulness enhances self awareness, allowing you to recognize signs of stress in real time and intervene effectively. By fostering resilience and adaptability, mindfulness transforms how you engage with life's complexities, offering a powerful toolkit for stress reduction and overall well-being. Mindfulness meditation is not just a practice, it's a way of life that can bring well-being. By embracing mindfulness, you can cultivate inner peace, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the richness of each moment. So now, let's dive into a guided mindfulness meditation to help you reduce stress and cultivate inner peace. Find a comfortable seated position with your back straight but relaxed. Rest your hands on your lap or knees, whatever feels natural to you. Then close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax with each exhale. Now shift your attention to the feel of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils. As you continue to breathe, gently scan your body for any areas of tension or discomfort. With each exhale, imagine releasing that tension and allowing yourself to sink deeper into relaxation. Now, bring your attention and awareness to your thoughts and emotions, observing them as if you were watching clouds passing through the sky. Notice any expectations or judgments that arise about how things should be versus how they actually are. Instead of clinging to these expectations, allow them to drift away like clouds in the sky. As you breathe, remind yourself that expectations are simply thoughts, mental constructs that may or may not align with reality. By observing them with detachment, you can begin to loosen their grip on your mind and cultivate a greater sense of acceptance for what is. The expectation is just a thought. You don't have to hold on to it. You'll have another thought. You don't have to worry about not having another thought. If your mind starts to wander into thoughts about the future or the past, gently guide your attention back to the present moment and the feel of your breath. Allow yourself to fully immerse in the here and now, free from the burden of unmet expectations. Just be in the moment with nothing to do and nowhere to go. As you continue to breathe mindfully, bring to mind a specific expectation that you're currently grappling with. Notice how it feels in your body, whether it's tension in your shoulders, a knot in your stomach, a racing heart, tightness in the throat. Instead of resisting or pushing away these sensations, approach them with curiosity and compassion. And with each breath, offer yourself words of kindness and encouragement. Remind yourself that it's okay to have expectations, but it's also okay for them to evolve or to just let go of them as you or circumstances change. Embrace the present moment with openness and acceptance, knowing that you have the power to respond to whatever arises with grace and resilience. And finally, take a few moments to express gratitude for this opportunity to practice mindfulness and self awareness. And when you're ready, open your eyes and take a moment to notice how you feel. Carry this sense of mindfulness and acceptance with you as you move through your day, knowing that you have the power to cultivate peace and resilience in every moment. So, Barley, how was your meditation in the last week?
Well, I have been struggling with all these financial things, but yet I've taken all the stuff from meditation and gratitude and tried to apply it. So in like today, again, a topic seems perfect, so timely. So it'll all work out. I know it's just, and so I just have to keep dealing with it. It keeps popping into my mind, trying
Sure,
to figure
sure.
out how to deal with it. But
But
thankfully, I have this meditation idea of getting rid of some of that stuff.
well, that's good. There's the problem and then our response. The Buddha said basically, when trouble happens, we are hit by two arrows. The first arrow is the trouble, and the second arrow is our internal response. And I think the second arrow is more trouble than the first.
Yeah, when you have the trouble, it's just how to deal with it. So yeah, I haven't completely fallen apart and I'm sleeping okay. So, I
Mm-hmm.
just have to get used to all this change. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want any change, but I keep having to change.
Well, also at our age, money trouble is disturbing because
Yeah.
it's easy to get insecure about the future.
hmm Yeah.
Yes. So, how are you, Joyce? How's your meditation been?
I think my meditation has mostly been pretty good. I discovered a few days ago that I can't meditate in a room with the door closed because the dog just couldn't deal
Oh,
with it.
yes, yes.
So, so if I go into a room and she comes in and checks on me and licks on my leg, that's just one of the things I have to just, not
Uh-huh.
concentrate on. And like,
Uh-huh. Well,
but
will she sit down and be quiet after a while?
she usually does. Yes, she sits down. She just wants, I think, doesn't want me to be kept away from her, which, it's a
Uh-huh.
dog.
Uh-huh.
But it's been good. Thanks.
That's good. And I've known uh, people who had great relationships with their dogs when they were meditating because the dogs were just happy to be there.
hmm They definitely, I think, defined the whole idea of Buddhism because they are in the moment.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay, so now we have our video for the day, and this video is entitled The Way to Stay Happy and Stress Free. That sounds good to me.
Once upon a time, there was a saintly Maharaj, spiritual leader. He stayed at the house of one of his disciples. The disciple was a wealthy man who had many businesses and numerous servants in his house. Everything was going well. The saintly Maharaj would often visit the city where his disciple lived and stay at his house for a few days. In that city, there was a magnificent temple dedicated to the saintly Maharaj's favorite deity. Every year he would visit the temple for darshan, worship, and to explore the city. So whenever he came to visit the temple, he would stay at his disciple's house for a few days. Whenever the saintly Maharaj would come to the disciple's house, the disciple would show great enthusiasm and happiness. But this time, when the saintly Maharaj stayed at his house, he experienced that the disciple seemed troubled and worried these days. The saintly Maharaj asked the disciple's wife, "What's the matter? Your husband seems quite worried these days." The wife replied, "Yes, he has been worried lately because he incurred a profit of 5 lakh rupees in his business." The saintly Maharaj said, "Why worry about that? It's a matter of joy. He made a profit of 5 lakh rupees. It's not a loss." Hearing this, the wife smiled and said, "Yes, but if you ask him about the reason for his worry, he will say that he is sad because he incurred a loss of 5 lakh rupees in his business." Surprised by this, the saintly Maharaj said, "What is this? You are contradicting yourself. Just now you said he made a profit of 5 lakh rupees, and now you are saying he incurred a loss of 5 lakh rupees. The disciple's wife chuckled and said, "Yes, Maharaj, I'm absolutely right. My husband experienced both profit and loss at the same time." The saintly Maharaj asked, "How is that possible?" The wife replied, "My husband incurred a loss of 5 lakh rupees because he was expecting a profit of 10 lakh rupees from his business, but he ended up making a profit of only 5 lakh rupees. That's why he has been feeling sad lately, thinking that he incurred a loss of 5 lakh rupees." The saintly Maharaj found this situation quite strange. However, when the disciple sat with the saintly Maharaj in the evening, the Maharaj asked him about the cause of his worries. The disciple said, "What should I tell you, Guruji? I incurred a loss of 5 lakh rupees. In business, there was an expectation of earning a profit of 10 lakh, but the profit turned out to be only 5 lakh. Hearing this, Sadhu Maharaj smiled within himself and started contemplating. He realized that the attention of this person is not towards the profit of 5 lakh, but rather towards the loss of 5 lakh, which was merely based on his expectations and desires that never truly existed. Imagine if this person had only expected a profit of 5 lakh. Would he have been unhappy? And if he had expected a profit of only 2 lakh, but ended up with 5 lakh, he would have been ecstatic. One thing becomes clear from this. The cause of a person's suffering is their expectations and desires. Humans hold great expectations and desires within themselves, and when these expectations and desires are not fulfilled, they become unhappy. Keep in mind that the greater the expectation, the more dissatisfaction it will create. If expectations are lower, dissatisfaction will also be lower. Just as expectations are heard, so is dissatisfaction. Let's listen to another story in this context. Socrates was a great philosopher and knowledgeable person. Often people would come to him from far away with their various problems. One day, Socrates was sitting outside his house in the morning. At that moment, some people came to him to ask for answers to their questions. Socrates asked them to sit down, and he called out to his wife to bring tea for everyone. After that, Socrates became engrossed in conversation with them. Sometime later, his wife prepared the tea and called out to Socrates from behind to bring him the tea. But Socrates didn't hear her. His wife called out to him a couple more times, but Socrates was immersed in the conversation. This made his wife so angry with Socrates that she poured the hot tea she had prepared over his head. Half of Socrates' face was burned, but suddenly Socrates stood up, looked towards the sky, and began to fold his hands. Seeing all this, the people sitting around got scared and asked Socrates what had happened. Socrates said, "Nothing. Half of my face was saved from being burned. That's why I'm expressing my gratitude to God. It could have been completely burned, but it was saved." Socrates' attention was focused on the half of his face that remained unburned. This is what we call positive thinking and gratitude. Whatever you have or whatever is left, express gratitude for it because it could have been taken away. Socrates is completely different from the person in the first story. Whereas one person was unhappy about something he didn't have, which only existed in his thoughts and expectations, the other person, Socrates, was happy for the half of his face that was spared and expressed gratitude to God. The person who lives in reality, not just in dreams, can never be unhappy. Along with that, such a person seeks goodness in every adverse situation and expresses gratitude for every small thing. No one else in this world can be like that. Every great person has emphasized this. Hate you, meaning negative thinking, and positive thinking. These are two things that, if someone embraces within themselves, can change their entire life. And this is the power of expressing gratitude. It brings inner peace to a person. Now, every morning when you wake up, just do one thing. As soon as you wake up, express gratitude to God for everything you have, like your job, your home, a good car, a good wife, good children, good friends, and a positive environment. For everything you have, give thanks to God. Because in this world, there are millions of people who don't have all these things. It is like a dream for them. So express gratitude to God that you are not among those millions of people, even in the worst circumstances. Take out nutritious food for yourself and be happy with whatever you have. These are two habits that no one can make a person unhappy. Let's continue the story. There was a fakir named Junaid. He often used to pass through a certain path. One day he stumbled upon a stone on that path. His foot got hurt and it started bleeding, but Junaid stayed there. He sat down and started thanking God with folded hands. Some friends were also with Junaid. They were amazed to see this and said, "Junaid, have you gone mad? We have never seen a person who, after getting hurt, expresses gratitude to God." Junaid replied, "If I had fallen and hit my head on that stone, my head could have been injured, or even worse, I could have died. It is good that only my foot got hurt and I survived." Even such people as Junaid, if they were to be hanged, they would express gratitude to God. Because in this world, there are deaths more painful than hanging. The feeling of gratitude can only exist in a person who has no expectations, who performs their actions without any expectations. Then, such a person, whatever they receive, I express gratitude for it and remain content. Expressing gratitude is a unique power. Now for the next month, express gratitude to God for everything you have. After a month, you will realize that a tremendous peace and satisfaction have settled within you.
All right, and let us meditate now. Mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. Fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. And our chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. I hope that brought a little peace in your day.
It did. Thank you.
Mhm.
For
And
me
I agree with
too.
Barley. The topics always seem very timely. So
Yeah. I know. It must be.
Well, I'm just tuned in.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Anyway, have a good week and good
You too.
meditation, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Namaste.
You want deeper meditation, more peace, more happiness. Subscribe now to continue to find ways to get more from your meditation.